Hey guys, it's Max and welcome to Animation Classroom Season 2. Today we're going to take a look at layers, the timeline and anything up here basically. So let's get right to it. Alright, so this is Macromedia Flash 8 and I have my timeline up here. We've got our first layer. If you want to check out my previous video with Macromedia Flash 8 basics, you can go check it out. I've shown you a bit of the timeline here. So first up, we've got the insert layer at the bottom here, and we've got an add motion guide, which I don't know what it is, and an insert layer folder, which I rarely use. We've also got the delete layer down here. So go ahead and click the insert layer. You're gonna add another layer on top of whatever you have highlighted, and whatever you have highlighted, if you click on the delete layer, it's gonna delete it. So another few things you should know about here is the show and hide and the lock layers. So when you have a layer and you have drawn something, and if you click on one of these buttons that line up with the show or hide, you can actually hide whatever you've drawn on that layer. And if you click on the lock button that lines up with the padlock icon, you're not able to, let's say if you're using it on a different layer, you're not able to affect the locked layer in any form of way, and you can't even draw on the layer or else they'll tell you to unlock it. So this is good when you're going to maybe draw some lines that intersect and if they're in different layers. So you can just use the lock layer, lock another one and sort of erase it so it doesn't affect the other one. So yeah, so you can use this in like coloring and using multiple layers and such. So right now we only have one frame in total, so I'm gonna tell you some shortcut keys. If you select one of the frames, you can press F5, which creates a extended version of the same keyframe, and you can do this for the bottom ones here. And as you can see, it's extended, but you won't see the gray bit underneath because that's a different frame. So now you can press F6, which creates a keyframe, but it holds whatever you currently have in whatever frame you have drawn anything in. So let's say I'm down here, it's highlighting the gray. If I press F6, it will hold the gray bits, but it still creates a keyframe. So another thing you can do is press F7. So F7 creates a new empty keyframe. So I'm going to do another one here. So it's the same as the F6, but instead of holding whatever objects you have drawn inside, it will just simply create a new frame without anything inside. So this is all used in animation. So when you have F6 pressed, you can sort of create this sort of motion. You can sort of move it a little bit. When you're playing it on the frames, you can actually just hold and drag and see how the frames move. So as you can see on this F6 frame, I've just slightly moved it to a side, and you can see a little bit of movement when you sort of play it. Another thing you can do is you can highlight a piece of a frame that's really far out but it's empty. You can just press F5, F6 or F7 and it's gonna extend out to that bit and creates whatever frame keyframe you want. So I'm gonna get to the bits down here now. So you've got the center frame, which I actually don't use, and you've got onion skin, which is very useful in drawing. Got onion skin outlines, which I prefer the onion skin to use, and edit multiple frames, which I actually don't know what that is as well, and modify onion markers, which is something you can actually just do right here. So if you guys don't know what onion skin is, it basically showing a transparent version of the frame previous and after. So it's a good sort of guideline for drawing the in-between frames. So right now I've got a frame behind me, which is the circle with the hollow space, and I've created a keyframe after that. So if I click on the onion skin, I'm gonna see the past two frames because I have my onion skin set to 2 frames up here. So now I'm able to basically retrace whatever I just had from the previous frame. Okay, I say that's good enough. Another thing you can do is press enter to play. So you can just go back and press enter and it will play it. As you can see, it's created a slight movement to the right side, but I didn't draw this properly, so it didn't end up looking very nice. So now I'm gonna get to the bits down here. The first thing you're gonna have here is the current frame, which is when you click around, you're gonna see which frame you're in. You've got the frame rate, which I animate at 12 FPS, and you've got the elapsed time, which is the actual duration of where you've highlighted. So I'm just gonna clear up all this mess, and how I'm gonna do that is I can just highlight everything, right click, and click remove frames. Another thing is this whole right click thing really just shows everything. So you can see the clear keyframe, convert keyframes, all this stuff. I technically just use clear keyframe, insert keyframe, copy and paste keyframes. That's very useful. So the thing I'm gonna do right now is delete everything. So I'm just gonna click remove frames, and everything's gone. So that's it for today's video. Be sure to leave a like. I hope you learned something today. If not, you can check out my other videos on my channel, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.